everyone. Welcome to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Charie Ilon, and I'm excited to have you here today. We're diving into something that sparks creativity and courage, early stage entrepreneurship. What inspires someone to take the leap? How do they handle the challenges, build a supportive network, and define success in those crucial early days? But there's more to this podcast episode. We'll also explore how AI is transforming entrepreneurship from streamlining operations to solving problems and shaping the future. AI is a powerful tool, no doubt. We'll hear about favorite tools, ethical considerations, and how to keep your brand authentic in this tech driven world. Whether you're dreaming of starting a business or just curious about how innovation meets creativity, this conversation is for you. So let's jump in. I'm so happy to have with me today as guest Julie Wang, founder of Tiny Planet Digital and winner of BC Business 30 Under 30 and Women of the Year. Welcome to Life Expressions, Julie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. So let's get started. What inspired you to take the leap into entrepreneurship, being the founder of Tiny Planet Digital?
Yeah, good question. So I actually started Tiny Planet Digital towards the final years of my university, or that came up as an idea for me. I was studying a degree in marketing, but I realized that I needed a lot more hands-on experience before, I was able to pursue a career in marketing. So I started taking on consulting, freelancing projects, and working on different nonprofits, small businesses. And slowly but surely, I built up a portfolio of clients who liked my work as well as, my team's work. And then slowly I started building out a bigger team. And then it will be 6 years coming up in 2025 for me. And I think another point of starting the business is that I really saw a gap in the market where small, medium businesses managing digital marketing, they were doing it in silos. So doing some advertising, managing the website, maybe sending out some email newsletters, but they were not taking a holistic approach because they don't have the resources or capacity to look over how all the different channels are integrated. So we were really able to help provide that direction and strategic guidance for our clients. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So, congratulations. Tiny Planet Digital is 6 years old now, and you're growing bigger and bigger. But the early stage entrepreneurship often comes with steep learning curves. What was the most surprising challenge that you have faced, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I think with entrepreneurship, there are certainly business challenges, but there's also a lot of personal development side of things to work on as well. I think something I learned early on and throughout, my experience is setting boundaries. When you work for yourself, it's really, really easy to be always on. For the first 2 years of my business, I worked Monday to Sunday because why not? I could. But eventually that led to burnout, unable to focus, things like that, definitely some negative consequences here. So I really had to recognize, I got to set boundaries of what my work hours are and not let it seep into every aspect of my life to influence, my relationships and other things I value in my life, right? And then
Yeah.
I think something else that would be important would be maintaining healthy client relationships, understanding what you will accept and what you wouldn't as a service provider. What is an okay way to interact and what is not. And it's up for you to decide and set that boundary. Yeah.
Yeah. But taking the perspective of an employee and then an entrepreneur, what do you do as an entrepreneur, as the owner of your business, that any other employee could not do?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think being an entrepreneur is a very, very interesting endeavor because perhaps as an employee, you pursue some sort of mastery on one specific subject area or field, and then you grow in a very deep manner. But as an entrepreneur, you more have a broad skill set where you're good at managing people, doing sales, understanding strategic initiatives, making partnerships. You kind of have to be good at a little bit of everything. So really a Jack or Jill of all trades here, and then understanding that likely you might not ever become a master of one specific field or item, but understanding how business runs holistically and be able to take responsibility and interact with all the different segments there.
Yeah. And you've mentioned earlier that you're building relationships, of course, with your clients and maintaining, sustaining them.
Mhm.
But what to you is the most important of all? What is your main priority in building that business as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I think for me, it is really, really important to have an impact as a business and build community. So I've always had this belief of community over competition. So it is important to have like-minded people surrounding you, whether those are, partners, folks in your network, your clients. You want to make sure that everybody is aligned with what you're trying to do here. You like and trust each other and believe in each other's expertise and vision. And having that in my life really strengthens, um, you know, my resolve to continue on this challenging journey of entrepreneurship, right?
So, building a community or network during the early stages of entrepreneurship is very important. Can you share a moment when your network played a crucial role in your growth?
Yeah, for sure. I think, as simple as over 80% of my business comes from my network referrals as still 5 years in. So people know people, and if they, understand what you do, trust your expertise and knowledge, then that comes in the form of business. On the other end, entrepreneurship can be extremely lonely. Surrounding yourself with people who can understand your situation, provide support, share ideas and opportunities with you is invaluable, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when starting out, so 6 years ago, how do you find success 6 years ago and now? And how has that definition evolved?
Yeah, so early on, it was really, really basic. At the very start, my definition of success was just, hey, is this business viable? Am I generating revenue? Does it work or not? And if it does, successful. If it doesn't, probably not successful. But now things have, been going for a while. I have some momentum. I have a team. Business is pretty steady. We're really now focused on impact, growth, and profitability. So, as an example, our business has a give back program every year called the Sustainable Growth Contest. So every year we run this contest where any business or nonprofit organization working towards one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Growth Goals can apply to win a prize package of digital consulting as well as some audit work that we do with them. And we've been able to serve, I believe, 6 or 7 organizations throughout the years to support them. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. How much is the worth of the digital consulting package of
Yeah, I
the
believe it's about
prize?
$2,500.
Yeah, that's great. So, for beginners, if you could give one piece of advice to someone just starting their entrepreneurial journey, what would that
Mhm.
be?
There's so many things I could say, but I think really importantly to start, if you want to figure out if the business is viable, are you generating revenue and getting things going? If there's traction, I think first and foremost is to understand your customers. If you can really grasp their needs, you will succeed. Having a deep understanding of who you are serving, whether you're providing a service or selling products to them, will help you accelerate your growth much faster.
Earlier, you've mentioned growth, impact, and sustainability. These three would say that you are successful in a business,
Hmm.
right? And now there is AI trying to help entrepreneurs in the success of a business. What do you think now is the role of AI in our approach to entrepreneurship and growing a business?
Yeah. So AI is such a powerful and flexible tool. It's a really good, I would say, sidekick to any entrepreneurs starting their journey. For me, I believe it provides a really good sounding board for
Yeah.
ideas, challenges, and organizing your vision, and other kind of initiatives within your business. So, as an example, you can talk to it to say, this is my target market. This is what I'm offering. What are some potential concerns that these people might have based on this data? And they can do some analysis or just provide, some back and forth with you, kind of like talking to a co-founder or a partner, to get a better understanding, thinking out loud,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So has this helped you and has this, shall I say, made your work easier and faster?
For sure. It's definitely made me more efficient and it helps me with my blind spots sometimes. So, as an example, when I am pitching to a client, I have a pretty good understanding. I'm hearing them, understanding what they need. But sometimes, I might be thinking about something else and miss a sentence or two of what they say. So, if I recorded the meeting, and then have AI read through the transcript, it's able to help me maybe identify the client's questions or concerns that I have missed.
Yeah,
So it supports me in that way, as an example. Or in other ways, it could help me provide more clarity for people I'm communicating with. As you know, a lot of people come from different backgrounds, knowledge, and experience, and how I say something may not resonate with them as much. So having, running my communications through AI a little bit just to get a
yeah,
sanity check is really helpful there.
yeah, that's great. Can you share with us your favorite or go-to AI tools?
For sure. So ChatGPT kind of is a must for me at this moment. I've been using it pretty consistently for a year. And I've found that it's improved a lot as I interact with it more and more. So, as an example, when I first started using it, I would have to describe my business quite frequently. So, I run a full service digital marketing agency based in Canada. This is my experience. How would I go about assessing this issue, or how can I analyze this situation? And more so, as I've used it over the year now, it knows who I am, it knows what kind of business I run, so a lot less context providing, and it's able to provide me with insights and solutions much quicker as well. So outside of ChatGPT, I'm also a big fan of Perplexity, which is a search-based AI tool that provides, I guess, verifiable citations to its results as well.
Yeah, that's great. So those are your two go-to AI tools. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. How about sharing an example with us where AI helped you solve a specific problem in your business, apart from the note-taking and, you bouncing off ideas with AI?
Yeah, for sure. It really helps me in from a communications standpoint, right? So sometimes I would read a customer's email and there would be a lot of questions in a row. And I would think, how would I explain this in the more clear, concise, and effective way to help them understand maybe A and B is not very important and really the focus is on C. I could draft something myself, but it might not be as clear as impactful as it should be. So even something as simple as that, I would run it through ChatGPT to make sure that I am communicating what is the most important. But outside of that, even on a team management, I guess, side of things,
Yeah.
something really simple folks can do is if you're trying to explain a concept to somebody on your computer, you can do a screen recording on the computer. Say, if you are looking to achieve this result, follow this step, this step, this step, explaining how something works. And then
Yeah.
you are able to upload to a tool like Otter AI, get the transcript of the conversation, and then you can ask ChatGPT to turn that conversation into an employee manual so people can look through it. So not only do you have a video explaining how something works, there's also a step-by-step manual on how it could potentially help more and more team members.
So Perplexity and Otter, you can also access them for free.
Yes, so ChatGPT has a free version, Perplexity has one too, and Otter AI, which is a video transcription service run by AI, also has a free version as well.
To that, which areas of your business have benefited from AI integration?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I mentioned, a lot of different sides, right?
Yes.
So, client communications, sales and marketing processing, internal team management, and process management all benefited from these AI tools. And I think even for me, in terms of personal growth and development, being able to have someone to talk to all the time, get insights, consider different perspectives has really helped me as well.
Yeah. And so you have mentioned earlier that ChatGPT already knows your business already.
Mhm.
Like you don't need to provide more context because it knows you already. And
Mhm.
how do you ensure that AI aligns with your values and your vision when you use AI tools?
Yeah, for sure. So, I think something to consider here also is I approach AI as a tool to enhance and not to replace human creativity and decision making. And I want to make sure that the way I'm using it isn't, replacing what people can do, but more as an augmentation of, hey, this is what I think. How can I consider this from different perspectives,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's really important to know that it does not make any decisions for you. It does not tell you how to think. You have to guide it in a way that aligns with your own values and determine what is okay and not okay for you and how you
Yeah.
use it.
Now, Julie, let's talk about the future of AI and entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Where do you see the future of entrepreneurship and AI heading?
Yeah, that's a really good question because everything is relatively new. I don't think there is any right or wrong or even definitive answers, but I
Yeah.
think AI, one of its biggest roles here is to continue to automate routine tasks, enabling entrepreneurs to focus on creativity and strategy and, things AI doesn't do that well. So, as an example, it could help people focus on human connection. And what I mean is that um, as we are talking now, I can really focus on listening to you and what you have to say instead of really focused on taking meeting notes where we had to do before. So if AI can take care of all of that, then I can really focus on understanding you and building that human to human connection, right?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that AI cannot replace, human
Mhm.
connection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now that I'm saying that what AI cannot replace is human connection, there's also human versus AI collaboration. As AI tools become more advanced, what do you believe are the irreplaceable qualities humans bring to the table in the business?
Yeah, for sure. I think there is a lot of connection and authenticity and aspects of the human lived experience that AI cannot, grasp just yet. I don't know if it will ever. As an example, I am working on a content series where I use AI to generate cooking recipes to help me
Oh,
understand how AI understands food and flavor, which is a very deeply human experience. Food, cooking, and the taste and flavors, and the cultures and experiences behind that. And what I've noticed and realized is that AI can put things together, but it doesn't necessarily understand the nuances of taste and balance and ingredients necessarily. So I think there's definitely large parts, not super quantifiable parts of the human life and experience that it cannot um, take over, basically.
yes. Yeah, I agree with that. AI can be our friend, not an
Mhm.
enemy. It can help us, not replace us, as I would say.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
there is a learning curve in using AIs to our advantage. How did you teach yourself to use AI tools effectively?
Yeah, sometimes don't be intimidated to anyone who is starting to use it in a very conversational way. And if you're stuck, you can actually prompt it to help you. You can say, I'm trying to do this. What is the best way to interact with you? Or what do you need from me if I want this result? And it could really guide you in the process as well.
Yeah, that's great. And so, with AI driving efficiency, how do you ensure that your brand, like Tiny Planet Digital, remains authentic and human?
Yeah, I think understanding your customers, kind of going to that really big point, AI can give you, you know, ideas about who your customers are. Like maybe they prefer this, maybe it is this demographic, maybe they value this or that. They can give you suggestions and insights like that. But it's down to you as a human to understand, talking to them. Do they like it or not? Is this gonna fly with them or not? Whether your product and service is actually gonna buy or sell, that purchase decision or that experience you have with your customer. I don't think AI knows. It's just not a human with lived experience, like I said. So I hope that ties it all back together.
Yeah, thank you so much, Julie. Before we end, I'd like to ask you, you have already achieved so much being a founder of your own company, Tiny Planet Digital, a winner of BC Business 30 Under 30 and Women of the Year. How did you do that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of different variables and factors that have come into it, but a big part of it is um, working hard, work ethic, that's part of it, but also not being afraid of rejection and trying new things. So going into meeting people, networking, interviewing customers to see if your idea works, understanding where they're coming from, and being able to accept, a lot of rejection and no, and to keep going. That resilience and I guess self compassion is really important in this journey.
Yeah, thank you, Julie, for sharing your journey with us. And even if you have achieved so much, the best is yet to come. What's next for you?
In terms of 2025 onwards, we're really hoping to make more of an impact as a business. So we're going to continue to run our sustainable growth contest, as well as work with clients that we are values aligned with to be their digital marketing partner on their growth journey.
Thank you so much, Julie. And if anyone would like to get in touch with you, how could they reach you?
For sure. You can find our company website, tinyplanet.digital, or you can find me on LinkedIn. It is Julie Wang. Hopefully, you can find me. Yeah,
If you have enjoyed this conversation with Julie Wang of Tiny Planet Digital, feel free to share it with your friends, especially on your network. And if you haven't followed Life Expressions yet, please click that subscribe or follow button. We are trying to be a positive impact in the community that we live in, and we can do that however we can, wherever we are, as long as we have the right focus and purpose. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in to Life Expressions, and of course, for your time and for sharing your story with us, Julie.
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Till next time, I'm your host, Charie Ilon, here on Life Expressions.